Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. It's Birds of a Feather Podcast with your boy Q City. Coming to you live after a Hawks win in New Orleans. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Definitely would love to follow it up with a Falcons win versus the Saints, but let's just get into the basketball of it, man. Hawks came out tonight. I would love to tell you that they look great. That was an absolute lie. The first quarter looked absolutely disgusting. We we could not move the offense efficiently. Um, we weren't moving the ball appropriately. Ricochet couldn't buy a shot to save his life. Uh, we looked tentative. We looked. It looked like New Orleans was bringing the fight to us. Um, but you could tell. You could tell they were not the better team, right? And I think that every player kind of had that feeling that like, hey, all we need to do is continue to play our game, stay focused, and then let who we are take over long term, right? And eventually, that's what happened, right? Like the Hawks were able to settle down. Really just gave Jalen the whole keys to the offense. So like Keaton was out tonight, Big O was out tonight. Obviously Trey's been out, but with that, first off, prayers up to Keaton. I'm not really sure what's wrong there, but hey, whatever it is, prayers up to him. Personal matter. Hope everything's well. Love to see him back. There's been a lot of discussion about that Keaton v uh, Gay lineup, Kennard lineup that just is an offensive sinkhole at times, right? No real off the dribble creation, some shooting on the floor, but not really truly allowing spacing because you don't have an interior presence. So, like, when you say spacing, it's not just spacing, as in spacing can be created by dribble penetrators and then having shooting on the wing. But just having a lot of shooting on the floor doesn't necessarily create space because, like, if you have nobody who can penetrate and kick out, then you don't create mismatches, and um, that's kind of what that lineup like entails. But with Keaton out tonight, they spent a lot more time with the ball in Jalen's hands, and he showed why the ball should continue to be in his hands. Um, Last I checked, he was like 18, 11, and 8. Uh, just a really good night being a facilitator, being a defensive stopper. I think he got a couple blocks. Atlanta's the better team, right? Atlanta usually averaging around 120 and whatnot. Uh, got close to it tonight, but the last three-ish, four-ish minutes, I would say definitely the last three-ish minutes, you're putting in the bench mob and reserves. Bush League move by Derek Queen late. Um, I wouldn't say Veet was fake mad. It was just more like a come on, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, what are you doing? You're getting the ball back, and it's the game's over. You know what I'm saying? These 2 points ain't gonna make a huge difference. It's kind of a stupid move, but it's good old fashioned hate. You know what I'm saying? No one likes New Orleans, and obviously the rivalry isn't as strong as it is in football, but yeah, New Orleans. Derek Queen didn't have a great game. A lot has been said about his recent performances and why the pick with Atlanta might not be the worst thing in the world. I'm here to tell you, just like I told you that the trade for Luca trade was pretty much an even swap, even exchange. And you see, 6, 7 years in, however, 7 years in, Mavericks made it one round further. Luca has probably been the better player, but like Atlanta received trade and a pick, and that process oriented way of thinking was the best way to go. With this Derek Queen thing, I can't truly say who Ace is gonna be. Um, Still got a lot of growing to do. He doesn't really see the floor right now, and a good bit of that is because like there's a log jam in the front court. Um, there's high picks there. There's good performers there. It's hard for him to see the floor. That's hey, it is what it is, right? So no one can say who Ace is going to be in terms of who he is as a player. Derek Queen's getting a lot of minutes, a lot of time right now. So obviously he looks like the better prospect in the short term. But what I can say is Derek Queen may end up being an all-star, and Asa Newell may end up being like a rotational player. So obviously, an all-star is worth a rotational player. But we have a chance to get an all NBA level, an all star or an all NBA level player with the top five pick that we're getting from them. So, like, unless Derek Queen becomes an MVP level type of player, it just wasn't a good trade. It's not, and granted, it'll be mowed out for a few years, to actually see who's going to be, who these players are going to be, what they develop into, how they mesh with the city's teams, etc. All that's well and good, all that's well and good. You know what I'm saying? But I am of a firm believer that you know you never know what a top five pick can turn into, not just a player, not just like a drafted player, but also like, what happens when the ping pong balls fall and somebody wants out. I've been on Giannis watch for a minute, but that's a different story for a different day. That's a Hawks pod thing. Just getting back to the game, New Orleans is overmatched. We're a much better team. I said I was on Zion watch. I don't believe Queen and Zion can operate in the front court together. Trey Murphy's got to get out of there. He is a lethal shooter, and he's being wasted on that team that really is struggling with spacing, is not really going anywhere. Fears is a really nice piece, but they're a while away from contending, especially like Murray hurt. It's a lot going on there. Um, or it's like a lot of good talent there, but it's not necessarily heading in the right direction. Whereas when you look at Atlanta, we are cohesive, and there's balanced scoring around. Like most guys were, we had five guys in double figures. Reach finally got his button back on. V came off the bench with like 21, which was clutch. Like we talked about, Jalen controlled the game. Chris Stapps, first night of the back to back, so you're almost certain he's not going to play in Charlotte, or play in Atlanta versus Charlotte tomorrow. Almost certain of that one, but it doesn't change the fact that like Atlanta has done a great job building and structuring this team as of now. Maybe not as much depth, but like that's basketball for you. You know what I'm saying? Once you get past the top eight guys, no team has true depth. Like, unless you're talking like Oklahoma City. You know what I'm saying? Like, no team really goes 11, 12, 13 deep. Most teams are 8 to 10. Like, real good teams, good players are 8 to 10. And in the playoffs, you shorten your rotation to 7 or 8 anyway. So, I think we've got a good core group of guys. Gay got some Gaye got some good minutes tonight. Love to see it. Hadn't seen his plus minus or effectiveness. I know he was active on the boards. I know he was active second and bottom level defender. So that's another thing. This defense took off tonight. Um, kept him under 100 points. Now New Orleans struggles to score the basketball, and they're 2-15 team for a reason. But like, part of the league is beating the teams you're supposed to beat, right? Fully expect us to beat Charlotte tomorrow night. It's just I think that we have grown accustomed as Hawks fans of just like not being able to beat teams that we're supposedly better than, right? Where it's like, this team's got winless, or this team's got 4 wins, and you know you're struggling, you're in a struggle game in the fourth quarter, and it's like, we should be past that. And granted, we're only 3 games over 500 right now. It is a long season. We've played 17 games. It's a long season. But being able to get past certain barriers, such as not being able to just blow out, demolish 20-point wins over teams that you're demonstrably better than, that's an issue. And we seem to be getting past that issue. We need Trey. We need Trey back, because this offense is hard to watch without a true point, really setting people up, putting them in position. But all the guys have really stepped up in his absence, and so he's going to be stepping back into a really good functioning group. So, follow me on all social media platforms at BOAF Media. I appreciate you guys. It's been your boy Q City, and I'm out. Peace.